We're here today with Hardeep Brar, the Vice President and the Head of Marketing and Sales for Kia in India at the Carnival Media Drive. Hardeep, thank you so much for taking some time out to talk to us about the new Carnival.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Hardeep. Always a pleasure, and especially with the Carnival. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting behind the wheel immediately after this. But I just thought we should have a chat about the Carnival, and I want to start off with the price because you had the Carnival before, the new one's in, and it has taken a step up. So how confident are you of this step up in terms of the new pricing?
See, we go by the consumer response, and you've seen that we've already got more than close to 3,000 bookings. And this is because of the fact why the prices have almost kind of doubled. But the fact that this is a absolutely new car, it's a new platform. The car is wider, bigger, taller. And if you look at the tech inside, be it a panoramic screen that you have, which is a 12.3 inches, two 12.3 inches and then a 5-inch in the middle, or you look at see the shift by wire, look at the the premiumness, the luxury, the seats, the front seat, the driver's seat is 8-way powered seat, 12-way. The captain seats are 8-way passenger seats, and they are relaxation seats. Even the engine of this car, it's a new aluminum engine. It's not the same 2.2 liter engine. It's a absolutely new engine. The ride and handling is much better. The NVH level is far more improved, and not to miss out on the Kia Connect 2.0, where we have plethora of features in that. And then over-the-air updates, right? Which is probably one of the few cars in this segment to have over-the-air updates. The tailgate is now, you don't need to touch to open it. So I think from every which way, this is a completely new car. And mind you, this is not one generation, this is 2 generations ahead of the previous one. So hence the price.
Okay, so you're clearly confident, and I guess, buoyed also by the interest from consumers, the bookings at that price level. In terms of the Carnival itself, I wanted to ask you, because in the previous car, you had multiple seating options. In fact, there was one with 4 rows of seats. The strategy here seems to be just with the premium, because you've got just one variant right now, right? And it's just the captain rows. What's the thought behind that? And I like the idea. One thing that is intriguing me though is also the color choice. You've got only 2 colors. So what's the thought behind this new sort of positioning?
Yeah. So when we looked at the previous Carnival, 81% of our sales actually came from limousine and limousine plus, which were the top variants, and that too more inclined towards the limousine plus. So people in this category, when they're spending so much of money, they don't mind spending a couple of extra lakhs, but they want nothing but the best. Even in terms of color choices, we had 40% white, 50% black, and 10% silver, right? And again, so 90% was black and white. So I think since the volume in this category are small, it becomes much easier to cater to the consumer demand. And there is no confusion in terms of having multiple trims and then multiple colors, because to manage in 200-300 units a month, it becomes very, very complicated. So we wanted to keep it plain and simple, and I think it's working well for us.
Right, I think so. In fact, so it's very clear that you're laser focused on that sort of niche, because this is a niche kind of player in that sense. You're laser focused on that. But what's your, let's say, take on it may be niche, but I'm sure you're looking at some sustained volumes, and perhaps with 3,000 odd bookings, I'm sure you're looking at increasing production right now, because it's probably what the whole year sold out right now.
Yeah, so you can say that. So we actually didn't plan. We thought, when we felt, what would be the consumer response. But looking at the response now, we are requesting a headquarter, can we get more cars? So to give you a perspective, in 2022, we sold 3,550 units. And with the increase in price, we thought probably, it'll be a lower number. But looking at the response, I think our first target is, can we cross that number next year, right? So yes, we are looking at increasing the production for this car.
Okay, great. And it will obviously be in the same sort of CKD manner that you're doing at the plant.
That's right. SKD is what we are. Yeah, this is going to be SKD.
Right. And Hardeep, the other question is, in terms of this segment as a whole, you are kind of in a nice sweet spot, because you have, let's say, like an Innova and the High Cross down below, and you've got maybe the Wellfire right at the other end, crossing the 1 crore mark. You are in a vacant kind of space. Do you think that is helping, and do you see that consumers here in this spot are happy to look at something like this, which is not traditional like a sedan or a traditional SUV.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the beauty of this car, and when we speak to our existing Carnival customers, they all have the German luxury brands. But when they go out on long drives with the families, they prefer this. Even when they're going to their offices during the day, they prefer this because the kind of comfort which you get, you actually walk into the car.
Right.
You don't sit inside the car. You walk into the car. I think it makes it so, which is why features like the sliding doors has been the biggest hit when it came to the previous generation. I'm sure that feature remains, but the tech was missing in the previous one, and I think that this one completely fills that void now.
Right. And, so speaking of the MPVs and this segment, Kia, it's been a very deliberate strategy. We've seen right from the entry, you have stayed away from hatchbacks and sedans. It's been kind of focused on SUVs and MPVs, and you have we have the Carnival as well here. Is this going to change, or is this, you think, the strategy for Kia India for the next couple of years?
No. So, when we came to India, we were very clear. We are going to be in SUV and MPV space, and we call it recreational vehicles. Right. And we found that, the segments are shifting towards this. And I think our crystal gazing was right. And today, SUVs and MPVs put together are close to, they are inching very close to 2/3 of the overall volumes. Hatchbacks and sedans, which used to be about 50% plus, have come down to, I think, hatchbacks are now 24-25%, sedans are about 8%. So both put together about 33%, right? And every year you see, that segment shrinking. So we want to be, we want to stay in this segment. And when we started, we had a top-down strategy. When we got into SUVs, we brought in Seltos, and then we brought in Sonnet. MPVs, we brought in Carnival first, and then the Carens. Even in EVs, if you see, we brought in the EV6 and the EV9. And from next year, we get into the mass EVs. So I think this top-down approach and sticking to our SUV and MPV has really worked for us. And we would stick to that.
Right. Okay. So in case there's any sedan lover out there, no hope, at least not in the near future.
No.
But just to press you a little further on that, sedans, yes, at a certain segments, they have kind of disappeared. The market has disappeared. But if you look at the luxury segment, kind of the price points where this car is operating at, sedans are doing healthy business, from the traditional luxury, let's say, established players. Do you think Kia, and you have products that Kia could fit in there? Is that something you're looking at, or you just want to focus on?
Yeah, so it's all about, every country has their own thought process. And India as a country, we decided that we are not going to venture out into that space. Keep as you said, laser focus, attention on bringing in better SUVs, the more premium SUVs, and make it a success. So we will not venture into that segment as well.
Right. And Hardeep, last question. I know you've got a lot planned today, and I'm waiting to get behind the wheel, or rather in the second row. But I have to ask you, like you said, you're looking at now, the new mass market EV. So for the future products, I know you're not going to tell me too much, but what can you share with our viewers? What can they look forward to in terms of the new products? You've got, I think, 2 coming up. We've got a compact SUV, or a sort of a cross product from what we are hearing, at least the grapevine, and the EV. What can we look forward to in this?
As I said, we are going to be in this recreational vehicle segment, so that's going to be no-brainer. They're going to be SUV/MPV, and the reason I brought in EV9 and EV6 is to showcase India, and both of them, as you know, EV9 is the world car of the year. EV6 was the first runners-up, but it was a European car of the year, North American car of the year as well. So both these products have actually, competed with all the luxury brands and emerged winners in their respective categories. So we wanted to showcase the consumers that, we have the best technology, the best design, the best features in the world, not only in India, in the world. And the DNA, and this DNA will pass on to the next generation that we are bringing in. So yes, I think they can expect nothing but the best from Kia. And we hope we'll get the same kind of love and response from the consumers that we've got in the past.
Right. And on the let's go with the compact SUV first, because I know that's coming earlier before the electric MPV. How is that going to be different? Because you're doing something you have not done before, which is in the same segment, having two products. Other brands have done that. You know, what's going to be your strategy to differentiate your products? And do you think you can pull that off like a Maruti or somebody who has, you know, many products in the same segment?
I feel, you know, there are two factors which are really concerning the consumer today. One is, you know, what is the price parity? How much more expensive is the EV version versus the ICE engine? So I think keeping that right pricing is very important, and we are keeping that in mind when we are launching that, because when consumer pays extra, he wants the return on investment. So this is on top of our mind. The second thing which we are really concerned about is the range. And you would have seen both EV6 and EV9 are giving range in excess of 500 kilometers. Of course, they may not be in 500 plus, but we want to bring it, you know, to the levels that consumer is not really worried about traveling long distance and say, I don't want to buy this car. So I think these are the two big things that we want to really focus on, and want to make sure that consumer love both the things in our IVs. Yeah.
Thanks, Hardeep, so much for speaking to us, and hope to catch you at the next one in the new year.
Yes. Thank you, Sergius, for being here, and thank you, Autocar.
Thank you.
Yes.